Alright, so I'm going to show how to solve this problem. Largest divisible subset. Given a set of distinct puzzles, you find the largest subset such that every pair of elements in the subset satisfies this condition. If there are multiple solutions, return any subset is fine. So, yeah, I had a little bit of trouble solving this problem, but now I think I know one way to solve it. So one thing to do is to, let's say you start with not values like 1, 2, 10. So at first I thought maybe this was sorted, but I guess you can't expect say it's going to be sorted. So if you have something like this, first thing you're going to do is sort it. So once you sort it, that'll allow you to iterate through it more easily. So if you sort it, so let's say sort. So once you sort, you will have 1, 2, 8, 10, 20, and yeah, so that's once you sort it, of course. But then you also have another thing too. So that's if you do this. Then what I'll do is do count. So initialize count. I'm going to create this. So this array that you create is basically keeping track of the number of values that satisfy the condition that we're going to use. You use basically the transitivity property, where like you have A mod B and versus B mod A. But what we're going to do is A is always going to be less than B. So what we're going to use is that if A mod B, if that's true, then that means A divides into 1. So we'll see how that works out. I'm gonna erase that. I don't know exactly how, but yeah. So then we'll keep track of like the count and initialize them all to 1. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then so once you have count, then the next step would be to take a different thing. So this is like I'll put it like this. This is the sort. Now what we want to do is we want to update count. So we're going to go through our array, our sorted array. So the first element will be a 0th element. So we start with, so we're going to iterate. So we start with 1, and 1, we can't go any further back, so there's nothing to do there. Then we go to 2, and then for 2, we can go to 1, and if we take 2 mod 1, that is equal to 0. So since it's equal to 0, we want to do this. We want to do count. We want to update the count at the current index I will be equal to the max of the count at I, and also the count at the j plus 1. That is the count of the j is like this thing. So like this is j, the 1. So like so for the first example, I is 0 and j is 1. I is 0 and j is 1. But then, so this is how you would update it. So if you follow this logic, let's figure out what our count would be equal to. Start with 1. The second element is going to be 2 because it will take the count here plus the 1. The next element is 8, and 8 is divisible by 2, so it should be 3. And then 10 is not divisible by 8, so it won't increment by that, but it's divisible by 2, so it should be 3 as well. That's a horrible 3. It should be 3 as well. And then next element is 20, and 20 is divisible by 10, so that should be 4. And then you want to find the index. So you say, here's where the max is at, and then the index is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's equal to 4. So what you want to do is once you get this index and you use this current and you use this counter to keep track of what your count is. Like the counter here is 4 because the end result length should be 4. So you add this element to your result, which is 20, and then you just keep going backtracking. So like when you go to 3, you're like, okay, well I can use this value. This is, oh wait a second, would it accidentally use 8? What if this was 16, right? It would still be 4, and then when it backtrack, okay, so when you backtrack, you need to check that it's divisible by, I see. This is really messy, so sorry. So yeah, so this will work, so we'll put the 10. Now the counter goes to, counter's at 4, so I think it goes to 3, then it goes to 2, so once it gets here, you'll output the 2, and then output the 1. And then this is the result that you return. The result. So now, okay, let's see how I can code this. I already put the start time. So I already know. Okay. So I'm going to get the length of nums, and then what I want to do is check a base case. If n is equal to 0, return an empty thing. Yeah. Okay. And then we're going to sort this. So take nums dot sort. So just sort it real quick. And then we need to construct the count object. So let's say count equals, and we'll put 1 in. So 1 for in range of n, I guess. So it'll be the length of the nums array. So we take that, so that's our count, and then we have to iterate through. So for I in range of n, right, okay. And then so this next value what we do is for j in range, so for j, we're always going to be looking at the previous values. So I would say it's going to be, it'll go to 0, and it should start at the value I, and then it should be -1. I believe that's how you do range. Like, this is telling it to do, the step size is 1, but it's negative, so that means it's going to go backwards. And I'm telling it to basically stop at 0 and start at I. But I believe this is exclusive, so I'll start at I minus 1, which is what I want. I can test this right now, so let's print out j, and print out I equals I. So I run this code, and if this works, I think I know what I get. So okay, yeah, so I get I equals 0, I equals 1, I equals 2, right? I don't know why I didn't print out j though at all. It must be, put I here. Do I have to put I like this? What does this do? No, that doesn't do anything either. Maybe, wait. Crap, how do you, I need to read the documentation real quick. Yes, range. Do I really not know how to do this, or I think I just forgot? I know I've done this before, but I forget how you do it. So you put the start, the stop. Oh. So this is always the start. So if I want to start at I need to put I. And if I want to stop at 0, I need to put 0 maybe. Okay, yeah, so now it will, if I is equal to 1, it will do 1. Right, but it's not going to, okay, I don't want it to do 1, I want it to do 1 minus, and I want this to go to -1. Okay, oops. Whoa, what the heck did I? Okay, yeah. Okay, so now I see. So now I got this working properly. So my mistake was, so I guess I didn't know this. Like, this is always where you want to start, and this is where you want to stop, and this is your step size. So this will work. Then the other thing that I can do is, I'm gonna go here. Is okay. So I want to fill it in, right? So I'm gonna say count I will be equal to the max of count I, so like whatever the current count I is, or the count j plus 1. Right, so that will fill it in properly. And I think, do you want to, yeah, you want to keep going back to, okay, so it's okay. So that's that step. Then, once we do that, we're going to find where the max index is. So, we'll say, I have to iterate through for I in, or wait, is there another way to do this? I can return a max value, but yeah, I have to do for I in range of n, and basically what I'll do is I'll say max index equals 0 initially, and I'll say counter equals 0. Or counter doesn't really matter, does it? I think, I don't know why I'm putting counter here, but yeah, I want to find the max index. So basically, for I in range, if do this, so best count equals, let's start the best count as 0. So we're gonna say best count equals max of best count. Ooh, but this is different. You want to say if nums I, not nums, count. If count I, you want to say if count I is greater than best count, then you want to say max index equals I. You want to update max index, and you want to set best count. You want to set best count equal to best count or count I. Okay. But yeah, so you want to update the max index. So this will give me the correct max index. And then the counter, I think, will be basically whatever count is equal to. So at the end of this, we'll say our counter equals count max index. So that'll be my counter. So then we're going to have to do this. So now we're doing the last part. And I feel like breaking this down helped me out earlier when someone did this. So let's say, so here we're sorting. Here we are filling our count array. So here we are filling our count array. So filling our count array is basically just doing this, and then finding the max index is here. So we'll say finding the max index is here, and then now the last step is basically finding or reconstructing the subset. Okay. So reconstruct the subset, I want to do for I in range, and I want to iterate till, I want to start at the max index. And I know that whenever it starts at exactly that value. Yeah, so we want to start exactly at the max index, and we want to go until, I would say, 0. So that will go until 0, and we'll step down. So what we'll do is we'll say if the counter is equal to, so yeah, so you say if count I is equal to the counter. But that's not the only thing. And oh my gosh, I messed this up earlier though. So see what I did here? I said is wait, did I do this right? I'm trying to think if I did this right. Yeah, you only do this though if nums I modulo nums j is equal to 0. That's when you would do this. Okay, so if nums I modulo nums j is equal to 0, that's when you would update the count. Otherwise, count will just stay how it was originally. It'll stay as 1 or whatever. You wouldn't want to update it. And then for here, we'll do the same thing, and we need to check that nums at the max index is modulo nums at I. Now since this starts at max index, the first one will work, and we will do, if this is true, we will decrement counter by 1, and we will add this to my result. So I actually need to create my results. Result will be this. So I'll add it to my result. So where's the pen? Where's the pen? Where's the pen? Where's the pen? Oh, I'm trying to remember what I'm doing. Where's the pen? Is nums at I? Yeah, I'm going to pen I. And then you want to, and then it's going to decrement, and this should be counter. I think this will work. Maybe I'm missing something, but yeah, I think you just return res then. Int and tuple. So where are they getting that? Because best count is not 1 to 2. Well, that's actually true though. It is 1 to 2. But why is it a tuple? If count I for I in range. Okay, let's print count I. Okay. Maybe. Oh. Why did I do this? I forgot max here. So it was making a tuple. Although my answer is wrong, so. Okay. Let's see what I did wrong. Print counter. Print max index. Okay, so 2 max index is 1. That sounds right. Probably something to do with this, that's wrong. And counter is 2, right? The counter being 2 is correct. Yes. Also, if counter is equal to, I'm just gonna say this. If counter equals to 0, break, just so it doesn't like keep going. So I is equal to 1. Right, so I is equal to 1, so at 1 we have this. This should work. Print nums I. Oh, it doesn't work. So if I is equal to 1, what is count I? Let's explore this. What is count I? Okay, alright, I was being dumb, so my problem was that I didn't have this equal sign here. I don't know why. I'm just like really struggling today on solving these problems. But yeah, this actually works. You submit it, and it will give you the answer. Alright, it was accepted. So cool, yeah.